I just wanted to tell this story because I'm like, in Africa, they will beat you for anything. Everybody got a beating. Everybody. Hey all, I hope you guys are doing well. Guess what? We are freezing here, and I wanted to tell a story because I was watching something and I was reminded of this story. Okay. I have so many stories I want to tell, but I never get a chance to. But I wanted to tell you this story, and it's going to be really quick. So I was remembering as a little kid, I was very, how shall I say it? Compassionate. I was very compassionate, and I was very caring. Like most children are born very caring. So I was one of those kids who really cared about making sure that everyone was okay. So in our family, extended family, my mom had a cousin who was blind. Okay. And I really felt sorry for her because I was, thinking, how can you go through life not being able to see, And I was really not understanding this. And as a kid, I was a very, observant kid. Like most kids, again, I was very observant, and I at least felt like I was logical at the time. So where I lived in a place called Gugule, to those who are from Gugule, to hey, we lived in this backyard. Okay, we didn't have a house, but there were a lot of these black families that had land in the backyard. So in Gugule, they have something like row houses, and they had these long backyards. And in those backyards, a lot of black people allowed people to basically put their shacks down so that they can have a place to live. And my mom had a shack in the backyard, but there were lots of other shacks in the backyard. So every weekend, this is like in the early 80s, every weekend, these men would, after they get paid, would go out and drink and then come back. And men who are married, they would be beating up on their wives for whatever reason. This is, I mean, again, the early 80s, right? And I think that violence against women at the time was pretty much rampant around at least the Western world, or countries where the Western culture is practiced. I'm sorry to say it that way, but the wife beater term is not something that is invented by Africans, right? So that proves my point. But anyway, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but so these men, I remember one of our neighbors was beaten up by her husband, and she had like swollen eyes, like her eyes were swollen, like closed, literally. That's how swollen they were. And so she took ice and started like just applying ice on to make sure that the swelling was going away. I must have been like 6 7 years old at the time. And so she kept on doing this, and I was just like watching. And this is when you couldn't talk, which actually was a huge benefit there, because guess what, you learn to observe as a kid, because you weren't always talking and know it all. Otherwise, you got, like that, the back of the hand, if you were one of those kids. So I was always watching what adults were doing. So she, she kept on applying this. Voila. Maybe, I don't know, a week later, she could see, and I could see that she could see. And I thought to myself, wow, ice is magical, and so fast forward to my mom's cousin. So we go and visit my mom's cousin, and my sister and I, I'm sure my sister will not enjoy hearing this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway because it's my story too. My sister and I, we went to visit my mom's cousin. So while we were visiting, I thought, since you are blind and I think I found a cure for your blindness. Remember, I'm 7 years old. And so I told her the story of our neighbor who got bitten and she lost her eyesight, and she was able to regain it by continually, like applying ice. And so I think because she was desperate as well, thinking, like maybe if something could help, like she will do whatever. So I went and got ice, and while we were sitting in the room, I started applying ice on her eyes, really trying to care for her. And also at this time, I'm 7 years old and I'm dreaming of becoming a nurse one day. And so I'm like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So I do that, I apply. Her sister comes in. These are old ladies, by the way. These are not young people. They were much older than my mom. And so, uh, her sister comes in and she starts asking, "What are you guys doing? What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I was kind of like shocked, because I'm just applying ice, trying to help out." And so my mom's blind cousin starts crying because she sees that this is not doing anything. If anything, is making her eyes cold. And so anyway, I can laugh about it now because, like I'm a lot older. But the funny thing is that, so her sister goes to my mom and she says, "Your kids are so disrespectful. Here they are. They did all of this, like they made my sister cry. And I don't know why they would do that. They don't listen. They're disrespectful." And all I was doing, I was really trying to help. And I mean, again, I'm not holding anything against my great aunt, because like she didn't understand what I was trying to do, and all I was trying to do was help. And really, I was working with the person who was blind, rather than, like telling the world that's what I was doing. So we go home. My mom, she took and remember, she was so indebted to her cousin, because her cousin was, like the person who, when she arrived in Cape Town, was the one who provided for her, gave her a place to stay and all of that. So she felt indebted to them. And she was so mad that we were basically soured the relationship between her and her cousin. And so she wanted to prove to them that I'm going to punish my children when they do something bad. And so she started beating me and my sister up. So my sister was crying like forever, literally, because she felt like it was so unfair for her to get punished when she didn't do anything. And my mom punished her because she was like, "Why didn't you pay attention to what your baby sister was doing?" And so my sister was like so mad. She was crying forever. She would not stop. And I was like so annoyed because I was over it, I'm like, okay, we got beaten, I was trying to help. And really, as a young kid, I always felt like, okay, logically speaking, this is what we should be doing. Nobody told me. And I mean, my mom's cousin should have at least let me know that that's for if you swallow, not because you are blind. But I didn't know the difference. To me, I saw woman was bitten by her husband. She couldn't see. She used ice, and she was able to see. So to me, that was logical, and so, but anyway, I just wanted to tell this story because I'm like, in Africa, they will beat you for anything. There's no like cute, "Oh, this is so cute," "Oh, she was trying to," they like, the whole idea behind Africans is, if they don't punish you, the world is going to punish you. So they really hate. Unlike I raise my children totally different. But Africans, the way they raise children is, first of all, when the baby is little, this is when we didn't have electricity. We had all these, paraffin, which is like carousel. I think that's what it's called here in America. But these things called primer stove, they had open fire. And so, or candles for that matter, when you didn't have electricity, we use candles or these glass, like lamps that you all know here. They were probably in the 1800s here in America, but in the 80s, we were still using them in South Africa. And Africans believe that if you teach a child one time by letting them find out the hard way, then you will never have to teach them again. And in a way, I mean, I know that's controversial, but the truth is that they would let a baby, like let's say a 2-year-old baby, they will tell, don't touch that lamp, don't touch that lamp, don't do that. And if you touch it, they will let you touch it, and then they say, cha, that means you will burn. And the baby says, cha, and then the next, they will never touch it again because they know that it hurts. So Africans philosophically believe that if I do it, then if I let you find out the hard way that it's, it's going to hurt, I'm not going to be there to protect you all the time. Therefore, you have to find out on your own that if you don't listen, it's going to hurt. So I think that was the whole idea behind at the time. I mean, it's not like it wasn't like that here, but Africans truly believe that life should teach you, and you should find out. You should not be protected from life because that's the way you grow. That's why a lot of kids, despite everything you see, I mean, things have changed, and I always keep on saying that. Hold on, my phone just rang. So, but anyway, Africans truly believe that, if you learn through by experiencing life, you will learn, which is a departure to how we are raising our kids today, where we believe that we should protect them from the world, and not let them find out the hard way how bad life can be if you don't do what you're supposed to do. But in this case, my mother was totally unjustified in beating us because really she was trying to save face with her cousin, just to remind her that no, I do take care of my children and I do make sure. So, but I mean, again, it was the times, and here I am, and I'm okay. I have no grudge against my mother. I have no violence against, like other people. Like it was the times, it was understood. Everybody got a beating. Everybody. When Oprah says, everybody gets a car, everybody got a beating. So it wasn't something special, and we didn't take it like as anything other than, okay, you did something the parents consider bad and you were accepting the consequences. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that story. Because I have so many stories. Actually, there's one story I made a video, but it disappeared, about the one time this person bullied me. But anyway, I don't even want to go into it. But I would love to tell the story because it was so funny. The ending was so funny, but the ordeal in itself was not funny, but the ending was fun. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Don't forget to thumbs up the video. Don't forget to share it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. So